Hello, friends and gentle bodies. How have you been doing? How have you been doing? I've been going crazy. Sorry about the background noise. I'm babysitting a rock polisher for my grandson while they're out of town. So anyway, hopefully you can't hear it very much, or hopefully you can hear me a bit more. But I have been going crazy with studio stuff and having a business and putting on a wedding workshop, first ever here in the state of Alabama. So, yeah, it's been a hot minute, but I have been talking to my physicians and things like that, trying to get a good handle on health-wise. So I found out that the difference with sourdough breads and things like that compared to even keto, which that's a lot of what I was doing beforehand. My hair wants to get in my face. I probably should just put it up. Anyway, she said that having the sourdough bread, because it's better for your gut, and if you need to know more about that, I can help with that. But anyway, so I've been making bread for years and years. When my daughter was born, she was allergic to dairy and stuff, so I was making bread then, and that was 25 years ago. So I think a little bit more. No, 25 years ago. Anyway, I'm going to make some sourdough bread. And I thought maybe we could do it together. So yeah, this will be, kind of cut and pasted. So you're gonna see some crazy. So what we're just doing simple sourdough bread. I may do some inclusions. I haven't decided on that yet. So yeah, sourdough bread, let's do it. All right, so glass bowl. I have no idea what size this is, and I know you're gonna ask, and I apologize. I have no clue. I don't know. Anyway, it's a good size bowl, but it's glass, it's clear. Those work better, in my opinion. Oh, it's a 4-quart. I looked inside it, and there it was. So it's a 4-quart bowl, and I have a scale. So this food scale, it's a little cheapy, but it's super important for you to have a scale, because when you have cups and when you measure by cups and all that kind of stuff, it's a lot less precise. So anyway, food scale is the way to go. So here's my food scale. I'm going to put my bowl on my scale, turn it on. Oh, I have to have my recipe because I can't remember anything. So let me grab that. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do water. Now, a lot of people say filtered water is what you need to do. I'm going to tell you right now, because this was from back in the day and stuff, like I'm talking way before my time. If you want to know more about sourdough and you want to learn more about sourdough, I can probably do that on this channel. But, so let me know in the comments if that's the case. Anyway, I just use tap water, okay? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, so we have, 700, I think it's 700, crap. I got the wrong recipe in front of me. There we go. I just had to flip the page. Okay, so 750 grams. And this may not be enough in here. 750 grams of water. Oh, we might work it. We might work it. So close. Okay. All right, so 750 grams of water. You can use warm water. Don't use hot water. But you can use warm water, especially in the winter months. Sometimes that's going to be easier. Oh, I have my dough whisk. That would be good. And I have my spatula so that I can. Anyway, so this is very active. I fed it this morning, and we are now about 4 hours past feed. 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, about 4 hours past feed, and we are fabulous. We are groovy. This is Bellatrix, and if you need to know why we name our starters, let me know in the comments, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so now we need 200 grams of active starter. So I'm going to zero this out. 200 grams of active starter. Oh, and she's floaty. She's beautiful. And this is not at peak. Oop. This is not at peak. I got it just before peak. Just before. Okay. So now, what was up here is now probably about a half a cup. It's like barely in there. But it's enough to keep going on. I need a paper plate. Okay, sorry, let me move that for you. Okay, so the next thing is, we're gonna remove this and mix it up, because you want it to get all milky, frothy, bubbly, whatever you want to call it. Don't put it on your, don't mix it on your scale, because you have the potential thing to break it. It may not happen that way, but I would rather save you the headache if it does. Okay, that should be pretty good. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that or not. I can probably lift it up. Let me put it back on here. So there you go. And I don't even have my, what you call it? I can't think of what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now we need 1,000 grams. I'm zeroing it out again. 1,000 grams of bread flour. This is my jar of bread flour. It used to be my jar of starter until I realized I didn't need a big old jar like this for starter, because I don't have some massive bakery. I don't. So yeah. All right. So 1,000 grams. And I'm just using this scoop because it's just, or this measuring cup, just because it's easier to grab it out. Okay. So close. we go. That worked out pretty nicely. We're gonna put this back. Oh, this is unbleached bread flour. You can use White Lily. You can use King Arthur. You can use Member's Mark. You want to use one that has good protein and stuff like that in it, because it's just better quality. If you don't want to use, let's say you want to do a rye or whatever, you can use that too. You can use wheat. That's fine too. All right, let me turn this off. And we're gonna mix this up. All right, so we are making this into a shaggy dough, making sure that it's all incorporated. Now you can use your hands, but I'm not into the whole sticky. This is where you would get your workout in, that's for dang sure. I tend to scrape the sides to try and clean my bowl up just a little bit. Oh. If you have a hand mixer, or not a hand mixer, a KitchenAid mixer, which I have, but I don't know, I just kind of like, this is kind of therapy for me sometimes. But it's getting to be a pretty shaggy dough now. Okay, it's pretty well mixed. My scraper. So I have a scraper just to do my last little bits. When we renovate the kitchen, which, I mean, that's kind of like on the back burner at the moment, because there's so much other stuff that we're trying to do. But when we renovate the kitchen, we will be making a space for me to do breads and all kinds of stuff. You know, I guess you could say like a dough station or whatever you want to call it. Bread station, pastry station, whatever. It's just a baking station. Let me say it like that. Probably a baking station. Anyway, this is gonna help this glass bowl will help you see the progress with your dough. There we go. That's pretty good. All right, so here's the shaggy dough. Oh. It's sticky. Sometimes I'll wear gloves and do it, but anyway. There you go. There's your shaggy dough. And now you're going to want to cover it and let it rest for 30 minutes. Okay? We'll come back for our first stretch and folds and salt. So this is how I cover it. Plain, simple, cheap shower cap. Put it in a warm spot. Okay? Let it rest. You can set it on the counter and let it rest there, or you can put it on the stove, whichever. Don't turn the stove on. But yes, here you go. So we'll come back when it's done. Okay, so it's time for our first stretch and fold. I have a wet hand, and we're gonna peel this off. We're gonna go to the bottom right there, pull it up, fold it over. We're going to do this every 30 minutes. Let that gluten activate. Now, I personally do it more than 4 times just because, so especially if I miss a stretch and fold. and then put it back on and do it again in 30 minutes. All right, so now it's time for our second stretch and fold. We're gonna add the salt this time. And I kind of eyeball it. I mean, you don't have to eyeball it, but. And then I'm gonna start my inclusions. And I've decided I'm gonna make a jalapeno cheddar loaf, 2 of them. So we're gonna put a few of those in there. Again, I'm eyeballing. You can cut these up. I got the hiccups. You can cut these up or not. I'm not going to. And then my cheddar. I'm not a big fan of jalapenos, but man, this sure smells good. Again, eyeballing. All right, and then we're gonna do our stretch and folds to mix this in. And as you do your stretch and folds, it'll mix. And it actually mixes better than trying to fold in your inclusions. At least that's what I think. Oh yeah, see the gluten is pretty strong now, see? All right, another 30 minutes. All right, so we have our third stretch and folds, and we're gonna do the accordion. I think that's, I forgot the name. So we're just gonna lift it up right in the middle. Woo. It's and then flip it over. Smells so good. All right, so we're gonna do the last stretch and folds in 30 minutes, and that's what it looks like now. Put the cap back on. Okay, last stretch and fold, or accordion fold, or whatever you want to do, and then we start to do our bulk thing. Now, I have heard that really shouldn't like you should pre-shape before you do your bulk. That's what I've heard. It is pretty good. It's pretty good, pretty good. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this little cup. It's a 2-ounce cup. 2-ounce cup. It's 2 ounces. It doesn't say it on there, but it is. And we're gonna take about 20 grams of just the dough. There's not, yeah, that's about right. Put that back in there. All right, put the lid on like this. And when it reaches the top, you're gonna set it in here at the same time. When it reaches the top, it should be done bulk fermenting. We're gonna see how long it takes. And we'll go from there. So it's right in there. See, right there. We'll see what happens. All right, so it's getting late. And we're gonna, I forgot my badminton bowls. So we're gonna do, not everybody does the little sprinkle, but I am. I do the sprinkle. But we need our Banneton bowls. Why do we need our Banneton bowls? Because we're gonna scoop it. Let's scoop it. And our cutter. Because look how beautiful. And we are ready. Our little thing is ready. Do you see that? Do you see that? Watch it wiggle. But it's not too jiggly. Nope. Nope. All right, so I'm gonna sometimes this takes a second, but patience, which I don't have much of, I understand is a virtue, and it ends up paying off. Will you put that in the sink for me, please? All right, so remember, it's 2 loaves. Okay. Now you're not gonna mess with it much. Other people like to, you know, all that kind of stuff. Not me. I'm not doing that. So we're gonna cut it in half, and hopefully so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of roll it in its little happy home. I don't want to mess with it too much because I understand now. Hey, get off of there. I understand now that when you mess with it too much, it has a tendency to, we need some more flour. A little sprinkle. Anyway, you can mess with your loaf. We don't need no mess with the loaf. Look at how pretty that is. We're gonna put it back in our, Banneton, and we're gonna sprinkle, that way it doesn't stick. Well, I just blocked it. Okay, so see? Gotta get a little love tap. Okay. You want to take down some of the big, I just squeezed the little bubbles out of it, or the big bubbles I should say. I just squeezed those out. And then pinch it together. You know what? I should probably do. Look at how pretty. It's so pretty. Look at that. Okay. All right, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna cold proof these. Not everybody, you don't have to cold proof it, but I just dumped this flour again. Again, we're gonna little sprinkle, a little rub-a-dub-dub, and love tap. Take your thing, your, what you call it, shower cap. We got 2. And put it in the fridge overnight. And then first, I got the hiccups again. First thing in the morning, we're gonna take it out, put it in the oven. Okay, so it's the next morning, and I have just pulled my cold proof out of the fridge. And I'm going to use these see? There. How's that? All right, so she's so beautiful. We're gonna dust and score. So dust. And score. The last time that I didn't score because I forgot, it was a funky mess. So we're going to do just gonna see how this works. Doing a Jack Skellington. No, I'm gonna attempt to do a Jack Skellington. So we'll see what happens. I've never done this before, but we're gonna find out how it goes. So I just took off the eye part. I actually saw this on another TikTok somewhere. And don't you know, I can't remember who it was now. And his nose. We do little cuts on his mouth. Again, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're going to find out. So this is what it looks like before baking. And I have the other one right here. I gotta put that in the oven. So we're gonna score these and put them in the oven. We'll see what happens.